short or long. Love can be right or wrong. And if I chose the one I'd like to help me through, I'd like to make it with you. I really think that we could make it, girl. Baby, you know that dreams they're for those who sleep. Life it's for us to keep. And if I chose the one I'd like to help me through, I'd like to make it with you. I really think that we could make it, girl.
The LCGG is a community watchdog organization. It's your platform. It's your platform. Get involved. Go to stjohnradio.com.
We're so frustrated to have learned through the media aspects about this investigation that we've been asking for documents from the FBI for months. They have informed us that they will comply with our document requests, and we expect the FBI to honor that commitment.
Late last night, the Justice Department lifted the gag order allowing the informant to tell his story about the 2010 Uranium One deal to multiple congressional committees. The allegations include bribery by Russian officials and a concerted effort by Moscow to curry favor with then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton through a large speaking fee to her husband Bill Clinton and donations to the Family Foundation. This morning, the White House said the Democrats are in a weak position.
Everything that the Clinton campaign and the DNC were falsely accusing this president of doing over the past year, they were actually doing themselves, it turns out. And I think that this is a major scandal for the Democrats.
Yeah. My, how things change. Like overnight. Welcome to the program, the Laredo Citizens for Good Government. I'm your host, Jay St. John, and our telephone number here at the studio, if you'd like to weigh in, this is your platform, 441-1040. My, have things changed. I was talking about this 10-year-old little girl yesterday that was... Well, she'd been here, I think, since she was born. Or she was a tiny baby when she came over. That's it. Well, she was, I thought she was stopped in Freer and that the Border Patrol escorted her to a hospital in Corpus Christi where she received medical treatment. Turns out she was going there to seek medical treatment. Some say in an ambulance, some say in a regular car. I can't get, I just cannot get the story. So I thought, well, today we'll get the full story. And still, I don't know how she was transferred to that facility. I know the Border Patrol followed her there. Can you imagine the Border Patrol from Freer? You followed her all the way to Corpus Christi? Did you think she was going to escape your grasp for detention and deportation? I mean, don't we have? Is there any common sense anymore? Go chase somebody worthy of being chased. Following a little girl all the way from Freer to Corpus Christi for she could get a gallbladder surgery that she needed? I find that amazing. Well, anyway, now that you've raised that flag and it's all over the press, you won't be deporting her, I can tell you that. She'll have sponsors out the yin-yang. So maybe that was a good thing for Rosa Maria Hernandez this week. 10 years old, who's lived in Laredo since she was an infant. She didn't come over here until she was like an infant. And I guess she's been here ever since. There's a checkpoint on US 59. So the Border Patrol immediately assesses she's illegal, so they follow her to Driscoll Children's Hospital in Corpus Christi. That's a long drive. How many agents followed her? God help. God knows she could have jumped out of the vehicle at 65, 70 miles an hour and escaped through the brushes. We wouldn't want that to happen, now would we? So now y'all have raised such an awareness that she's not going anywhere, ever. You just wasted a tank of gas. And God knows how much taxpayer dollars paying paying you guys to follow her to Corpus Christi. Well, I see that there is a anti-jail big advertisement in the LMT this morning on A12, page A12. Always nice to go into a Friday with a chuckle. A new jail will not fight crime. I've been saying that for a week. It will just raise your taxes. I've been saying that too for a week. Webb County Public Safety Committee needs to better explain the $125 million jail facility referendum. Have these people been listening to my show and copying all the stuff I've been saying? No, they haven't. It's just pretty much common sense question there. Can you explain the $125 million? Somebody, please. Don't be fooled. Know the facts. Vote against Proposition A. Just because of the way it was presented, I would vote no. Because, we don't know anything about this jail. It was one of these, get it through the back door, quickly, hurry now, hurry. And we'll just pull the wool over the voters' eyes, $125 million bond. It'll turn into $175 to $200 million by the time it's all said and done with. Let's see what they're saying here. I might learn something here. Taxpayers will be paying for this jail for decades. Amen on that. Our children and grandchildren will also be paying for this jail. Source, Laredo Morning Times. The new jail bed count will only increase by about 170 beds, costing the taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars per bed. Source, Webb County Sheriff's Office. Somebody leaked something they weren't supposed to. Everybody's supposed to be on board with that, aren't they, at the Sheriff's Office? Better not find out who that was. Other counties, such as Bexar County, have approved the construction of a jail tower in their downtown, adding 512 beds for the cost of $32 million. $32 million. So we're going to get 170 beds for $125 million. San Antonio is adding on to their jail. It's a tower because they don't have any room to spread out, no more real estate. So they build up into the sky. They're going to get 170 beds for $32 million. I'm sorry. Let me retract that. The jail tower, downtown San Antonio, adding 512 beds, for the cost of $32 million. So the question is, why would we want to pay millions for an additional 170 beds? That is a great analogy, if there ever was one. The Webb County Jail is only 31 years old. That's what I said. They keep running these commercials, and it's 31 years old. 31 years old, really? I guess they think that's old. The Webb County Jail is only 31 years old. I love this ad. Texas has older jails still in operation, and they are and some over 100 years old. The current jail has met state of Texas jail standards, and for 8 years in a row has been in compliance 100%. Why do we need a new jail then? Sources there, KGNS. The real truth. Only a selected few will benefit from this new jail bond. Special interest groups will make millions in contracts, and wealthy landowners will make as much as $285,000 per acre for a total of $11.4 million by selling their land. And we went over that little deal the other day. How 1 week at the commissioner's court the thing would have cost $100 million, and then the next week $125 million, And so I'm just throwing out round numbers, okay? But my point being is when the landowner found out this is the premier location that they want to build this jail, I'm just going to knock up my property, my price on my property. And who in their right mind wouldn't do that? So somebody went over there and said, hey, we want to put a jail here. Instead of saying, how much you want for your land? Well, I don't want to pay that much. Well, you want to work a deal? No, somebody probably went over there. This is where we want to build a jail. Oh, really? Cool. I'll fix you up. So this is a vote no against Proposition A. Well, I just, there's just not enough information, and I don't know how you guys can just go in there on a commercial, and this is how Laredo works. The citizens are so dumbed down that the sheriff's office is out there pushing this thing, and everybody from the sheriff's office will be voting, and their families will be voting yes, and it's on one of these deals where it's off the beaten path of any election, any major election. So there won't be a very big voter turnout, and we all know what happens when there's no voter turnout. It'll be interesting to see how many people actually turned out for the vote, and then we divide that by 125 million. Well, or let me divide it by 150 to 75 million. 175 million is more like it. So nobody has a clue as to, we just don't have enough information. So they, oh boy. And like the ad said, they're right about one thing for sure. This thing will be costing Webb County's children and grandchildren for many years to come. That deduction from your property tax will never go down. It'll just keep going up and up and up because of that jail. So you want to attach your property to that jail, and they say, well, it's only $3 a month, Jay. What's your problem? Only $3 a month, really? That's what you tell people. That's how they sell it to you. But then it goes up in increments as time goes on. Oh, I thought it was, honey, look at our tax bill. I thought it was only $3 a month. Now it's $16 a month. And then a couple more years go by. Honey, look at this. I thought it was only $3. Then it went to 16. Now it's at 31. And on and on and on and on. A never-ending bend over. And if you got hemorrhoids, it's going to hurt really hard. Now, why did you have to say that? Oh, boy. And yesterday, 2 people died here in Laredo in car accidents. Some warehouse employee yesterday discovered a damaged vehicle in a brushy area near Interstate 35. Nobody noticed. That vehicle was there for a while. And they were doing a toxicology test on that driver. And then it's a fatal rollover. Went under the radar for some time until a warehouse employee in North Laredo discovered the vehicle in a brushy area off 35. Well, it was right. I tell you where it was. If you're coming southbound on 35 and you pass the big spaghetti bowl, it was about, I would say a half a mile to the right-hand side. A real brushy area there. I like the way they described it. A real brushy area. All right. Looking forward to the Laredo Big Bad Barbecue Cook-Off set for November the 10th. And I read all about it on the Laredo Citizens for Good Government website. Facebook page. As from now on, everything that's going on in Laredo will be posted on that Facebook page. So if there's anything going on socially, anything going on politically, we will be posting that, and we will be keeping you highly informed on everything that's going on in the city of Laredo, because that's what we do. That's what we need to do. You will never see, as in the past, I never used to do that, but this time around, I'm taking it very, very seriously, and I'm going to do everything I can to make this watchdog group work like a watchdog group is supposed to work. Just roll up your sleeves. Don't go home and take a nap. Let's just do show prep, and find out what the hell's going on. And the only way you can do that is hit the bricks. So everything will be posted there, and I got a handle on it. City of Laredo's will be notifying me on everything that's going on, so they say. If they don't want me to know, they won't tell me, but I'll find out anyway because I'm just that kind of guy. You can't hide things from me. Ask my daughter. She used to try to do that all the time. I could tell when she was up to no good. Same way with me and my mom. I'll never forget those. Look at me. Mom. No, I said, look at me. She wanted me to look at her, of course, to see. All mothers know when their kids are lying. It's just something. It's in the DNA, I guess. My mom. Look at me. Oh God, I gotta look at her. All right, 441-1040. I'm in an exceptionally good mood today. It's Friday, right? We got a great weekend as far as weather. How do you like this weather? Hey, yeah. It is Friday. Kickback Friday. Got a lot of great stories for you this morning, so don't go anywhere.
Won't you come see about me? I'll be alone, dancing, you know it, baby. Tell me your troubles and doubts, giving me everything inside and out, and love strange, so real in the dark. Think of the tender things that we were working on. Slow
why? You know why they paid him to sing the song, Jay, to keep you from singing it, for Christ's sakes. I'm looking at this. I love stuff like outdoorsy stuff, especially this time of year when it's nice and cool. Laredo Big Bad Barbecue Cook-Off. Yes, indeed. Veterans Day weekend, November 10th and 11th. I got $20,000 up for grabs. Oh, they're going to be over there at the Outlet Mall shops. Well, somebody's got to be over there. Well, I might as well put that thing there. I hear the big Ferris wheel's going to be. What are you saying? Nobody goes there? That's exactly what I'm saying. Hell, they got to put a big Ferris wheel and a bunch of rides over there this weekend just to get somebody to come over there and say, hey, look here. Well, I didn't know this was here. The outlet shops at Laredo. People know it's there, don't they? Everybody's favorite category will be Saturday's People's Choice at the Big Bad Laredo Barbecue. I mean, there's going to be all kinds of people out there competing for some of that $20,000. That ought to be a lot of fun. A place to hang out for a day. A little family affair. What else is going on around here? Kind of funny that they put the headlines about the 10-year-old little girl, the sick girl, taken to a child care facility, escorted by the Border Patrol from Freer all the way to Corpus Christi, because I didn't want her to escape, I guess. Wonder how many men they had on that assignment. And then right below it, it's a Harmony School, where you have Border Patrol agents showing the kids all about the Border Patrol, trying to recruit them at a young age. And they let them sit up on the little three-wheelers, and they show them all this cool stuff, this cool equipment. See, now, if you become a Border Patrol, you can ride on this cool equipment, the three-wheelers. We got horses. Man, we got all kinds of cool. We got fan boats. We got all kinds of cool stuff. So these kids look like they're about 12 or 13 years old, and they're all having a ball. And then you have the 10-year-old the story right above that kind of contradicts each other, but what do I know? I would have done the same thing. Yesterday in Washington, there was a lot of people at the White House. President Trump pledged that we will overcome addiction here in America, declaring painkillers, abuse. I didn't know it was such a big deal until a couple of weeks ago, but obviously it's killing a lot of people over. Well, let's see here. I think I have the soundbite. I do have the soundbite. Here, let's play it for you.
As you all know from personal experience, families, communities, and citizens across our country are currently dealing with the worst drug crisis in American history. Last year, we lost at least 64,000 Americans to overdoses. That's 175 lost American lives per day. That's 7 lost lives per hour in our country.
Wow.
Drug overdoses are now the leading cause of unintentional death in the United States by far. These overdoses are driven by a massive increase in addiction to prescription painkillers, heroin, and other opioids. Last year, almost 1 million Americans used heroin, and more than 11 million abused prescription opioids. The United States is by far the largest consumer of these drugs, using more opioid pills per person than any other country by far in the world. Opioid overdose deaths have quadrupled since 1999 and now account for the majority of fatal drug overdoses. Who would have thought? No part of our society, not young or old, rich or poor, urban or rural, has been spared this plague of drug addiction and this horrible, horrible situation that's taken place with opioids. That is why, effective today, my administration is officially declaring the opioid crisis a national public health emergency under federal law, and why I am directing all executive agencies to use every appropriate emergency authority to fight the opioid crisis. This marks a critical step in confronting the extraordinary challenge that we face. As part of this emergency response, we will announce a new policy to overcome a restrictive 1970s-era rule that prevents states from providing care at certain treatment facilities with more than 16 beds for those suffering from drug addiction. A number of states have reached out to us asking for relief, and you should expect to see approvals that will unlock treatment for people in need, and those approvals will come very, very fast, not like in the past, very, very quickly. Ending the epidemic will require mobilization of government, local communities, and private organizations. It will require the resolve of our entire country. I want the American people to know the federal government is aggressively fighting the opioid epidemic on all fronts. The Justice Department is aggressively and really valiantly pursuing those who illegally prescribe and traffic in opioids, both in our communities and on the Internet. And I will be looking at the potential of the federal government bringing major lawsuits against bad actors. What they have and what they're doing to our people is unheard of. We will be bringing some very major lawsuits against people and against companies that are hurting our people, and that will start taking place pretty soon. We're also supporting first responders and medical professionals access to the tools they need to prevent deaths through life-saving overdose medications. At my direction, the National Institute of Health, headed up by Francis Collins, has taken the first steps of an ambitious public-private partnership with pharmaceutical companies to develop non-addictive painkillers and new treatments for addiction and overdose. So important. I will be pushing the concept of non-addictive painkillers very, very hard. We have to come up with that solution. We give away billions and billions of dollars a year, and we're going to be spending lots of money on coming up with a non-addictive solution. We will be asking Dr. Collins and the NIH for substantial resources in the fight against drug addiction. One of the things our administration will be doing is a massive advertising campaign to get people, especially children, not to want to take drugs in the first place, because they will see the devastation and the ruination it causes to people and people's lives. Watch what happens if we do our jobs, how the number of drug users and the addicted will start to tumble downward over a period of years. It will be a beautiful thing to see. If we can teach young people and people generally not to start really tough, really big, really great advertising, so we get to people before they start, so they don't have to go through the problems of what people are going through.
Education. Right on.
Thank you. We are already distributing nearly $1 billion in grants for addiction prevention and treatment, and over $50 million to support law enforcement programs that assist those facing prison and facing addiction. We have also launched an $81 million partnership to research better pain management techniques for our incredible veterans. And soon,
Right on.
And by the way, Secretary Shulkin is here. You have done an incredible job for our veterans in a very short period of time. And soon, HHS will launch a task force to develop and update best practices for pain management across the federal government. I am urging all Americans to help fight this opioid epidemic and the broader issue of drug addiction by participating in the National Prescription Drug Take Back Day this Saturday. When you can safely turn in these dangerous and horrible drugs for disposal, that will be a wonderful, wonderful period of time for you. All of these actions are important parts of my administration's larger effort to confront the drug addiction crisis in America and confront it head on, straight on. For too long, we have allowed drugs to ravage American homes, cities, and towns. We owe it to our children and to our country to do everything in our power to address this national shame and this human tragedy. We must stop the flow of all types of illegal drugs into our community. For too long, dangerous criminal cartels have been allowed to infiltrate and spread throughout our nation. An astonishing 90% of the heroin in America comes from south of the border, where we will be building a wall which will greatly help in this problem. Will have a great impact. My administration is dedicated to enforcing our immigration laws, defending our maritime security, and securing our borders. We also have to work with other countries to stop these drugs where they originate. We have no choice. We have to work with others. We have to get together because they have similar problems to what we have. Some countries have bigger problems than we have. Whether that country is China, whether it's a country in Latin America, it makes no difference. We're going to be working with all of them. We're taking the fight directly to the criminals in places that they're producing this poison. Here in America, we are once again enforcing the law, breaking up gangs and distribution networks, and arresting criminals who peddle dangerous drugs to our youth. In addition, we understand the need to confront reality right smack in the face that millions of our fellow citizens are already addicted. That's the reality. We want them to get help they need. We have no choice but to help these people that are hooked and are suffering so they can recover and rebuild their lives with their families. We're committed to pursuing innovative approaches that have been proven to work, like drug courts. Our efforts will be based on sound metrics and guided by evidence and guided by results. This includes making addiction treatment available to those in prison and to help them eventually re-enter society as productive and law-abiding citizens. Finally, we must adopt the most common-sense solution of all to prevent our citizens from becoming addicted to drugs in the first place. We must and are focusing so much of our effort on drug demand reduction. We must confront the culture of drug abuse head on to reduce demand for dangerous narcotics. Every person who buys illicit drugs here in America should know that they are risking their futures, their families, and even their lives. And every American should know that if they purchase illegal drugs, they are helping to finance some of the most violent, cruel, and ruthless organizations anywhere in the world. Illegal drug use is not a victimless crime. There is nothing admirable, positive, or socially desirable about it. There is nothing desirable about drugs. They're bad. We want the next generation of young Americans to know the blessings of a drug-free life. But we must start in earnest now to combat national health emergency. We are inspired by the stories of everyday heroes who pull their communities from the depths of despair through leadership and through love.
That's me. I'll do my part. Whatever I can do to maybe go to elementary schools or whatever and speak, I'll do it. I'll do my part. You know, I'm deeply embedded in the VA system, and I try to keep tabs on what's going on with our veterans and how they're treated. My brothers and sisters. And I was at the Frank Tejeda outpatient clinic a couple of weeks ago. What is that?
Made it yesterday.
What is this? Well, why is this so important?
I thought you were going to mention it.
While I'm speaking. Oh, that's okay. I've never had anybody just come into my studio and start throwing paper in my face while I'm talking. It's like I'm sitting at the kitchen table, my brother. But he ain't heavy, right? He's my brother. All right, well, so now I don't even know where I was. I was talking about the VA, and now you come in here, rudely interrupt me, and...
How indebted you are to the VA.
Oh, okay. Thank you. But anyway, they have a mandate of no longer dispensing painkillers. And during the Obama administration, they were dispensing painkillers like M&M candies. So just to get rid of you, in a lot of these VA facilities, they would just give you whatever you wanted. Pretty much. So Saturday, you can turn in your painkillers. I wonder where that is in Laredo. Do we have a place where we can go turn in? I got some. Turn in our painkillers. I bet you'll get a big line for that in Laredo. I would like to turn in my painkillers. Oh, really? Wow, I was just rolling right along, James. How are you this morning? Do you have anything for us this morning other than throwing shit in my face? Oh no, you want to read the paper?
No, I have stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. There you go. Read the paper, everybody. James is going to read the paper to us because he didn't do his show prep. Did you?
I have some, yeah.
Like what? The Astros won.
No, they didn't play.
Oh.
It's hard to win when you don't play.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, who played?
Well, we had
I hear some quarterback got his ass kicked.
Joe Flacco of the Baltimore Ravens, even though they'd won 40-0.
40-0.
Snoozer.
Who'd they play?
Miami Dolphins.
I don't care.
No, I don't care either. I fell asleep.
But anyway, but I saw on the news this morning that some wise ass Miami Dolphin. Now be nice, Jay. I know what you want to say, but don't say it because people then will say you are, you know what. But this guy knocked the living hell. I saw the clip this morning. And knocked the living hell out of Flacco.
It was a dirty play.
Very dirty play, and they didn't throw the guy out of the game. But I'm sure he'll be getting a nice note from the NFL with a nice big fine in there.
Let's send him a Christmas card a little early this year.
Yeah, or Halloween. Yeah,
Halloween.
You owe us $50,000. I wonder how much they're going to get for that. I mean, he could have seriously injured that. He might be seriously injured.
Well, there's no word on that yet.
Well, good morning, Joe. Thanks for Joe Barron's on Facebook here, and then we have Marco Gonzalez, who'll always be, and I hope an avid listener. And see, I remember these people's names that first start with us. Here's Joe Doe. Is that a joke? Joe Doe? Is it really Joe Doe? Not a John Doe, but a Joe Doe.
He was on yesterday.
He's always on. And some people are commenting about the jail. There's a big negative ad in LMT about the jail. I love it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Big time. I like a whole half page.
I guess the check in cash.
The whole half page. You know, I thought I was the only one saying, hey, can we at least get an explanation of why we need this jail? But there's other people in town, too, that want to know why we need this jail. So they put a half a page ad in the LMT. And who did that? This political advertising by Coalition to Lower Taxes. Daniel Garcia, treasurer. God bless you, Daniel. So we got a big weekend here in Laredo sports, James.
Yes, as I know.
Yeah.
We have a full lineup of football tomorrow night, or tonight, I should
Tonight.
say. We have Alexander and South San. We have LBJ at San Antonio Southwest, United at Eagle Pass, and Cigarroa at Martin. And last night, the United South Panthers doubled up on the Del Rio Rams, 42-21.
42-21.
Yes, sir.
Let me see that. Let me see that right there. That piece you wrote right there. No. You had it right. The piece you wrote. Let me have that. No, that right there. Thank you. When I'm pointing at something,
it's not a
look
piece,
where
it's
I'm
a
pointing.
newspaper.
No. You're such a you know. Oh my God! I don't know. I don't know you're going to make it, brother. I really don't. I don't think you're going to make it. You just don't get it. This is not. You just don't watch what I'm doing.
You asked for the piece I wrote, and it's on a piece of paper. If you wanted the newspaper, ask me for the newspaper.
Anyway, do you know this is a girl named Jordana Grolnick?
I've heard of her from the story.
She's an actress.
I never heard of her as an actress.
So we were talking about George W. Bush yesterday.
H.W. Bush, the elder. Mm-hmm. Wheelchair bound.
He groped her in August of 2016. And I didn't have all the details, but there was a joke behind that I wanted, and I found the.
He found the joke.
Well, it's not really a joke, but what happened was. They were at a play in Maine, ex-President Bush and his wife, Grandma, and they are frequent patrons to this particular theater. And so the play was going on, and Bush came backstage after the play with his wife, former First Lady Barbara, for a photo
opportunity.
Exactly. And they were all excited. And Barbara was in the photo, and she was on the right-hand side of her man. He was in a wheelchair. And then there was this Jordana Grolnick, who was on the other side of the president. She played in Deadspin. Now I remember. He reached his right hand around to her behind. And he's in a wheelchair, and she's standing up. So it makes it real easy. And as they all smiled for the photo, he asked the group, "Do you want to know who my favorite magician is?" And then the lady goes, Jordana, as I felt his hand dig into my flesh on my rear end, "You want to know who my favorite magician is? David Copperfield."
That's actually pretty funny.
It is. And he just thinks that's just okay. Well, he didn't mean anything by it. Come on. He's just a dirty old man.
And he's in reaching distance. I mean, who could resist?
And then not only does he grab her by the ass, he makes a joke out of it. My favorite magician, David Copperfield. And everybody's laughing. But now, all these women are coming out of the cracks of the sidewalk.
No, it's fashionable.
That's fashionable now. Everybody's got sexual. I'm waiting for. Well, I'm thinking I'm nobody, but what have I done? Was I too aggressive in a bar one night? Did I say something I shouldn't have said? Of course.
You're not famous enough.
No, I know, right? Not at all. But there's a lot of actors that are on the run. Producers and directors, they're all on the run. and the women are coming out in groves. They're toxic, man.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't even want to talk to anybody anymore that's a member of the.
It's like the Cosby thing, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
stuff
come on,
happened
why didn't
40 years ago?
Is this going overboard or what?
No, people just aren't afraid anymore to come forward. I guess.
Well, yeah, after 10 or 15 years
Or
after
40.
the incident, or 40 years, yeah.
In Cosby's case.
In Cosby's case. Oh my God.
I mean, he was groping when he was doing I Spy.
I know, right? What about all the women that have groped me when I was younger?
You mean your teachers?
I have a fantasy about teachers, but I can't discuss that with you today because I could get in trouble.
Well, you remember the old Van Halen song, Hot for Teacher, right?
I'm hot for teachers. I am, really. I love them. But anyway, those just seems odd that everybody is. Well, Hollywood, you know, this is nothing new, right? I mean, if you want to make it in Hollywood and you're a young 17, 18-year-old girl who runs off to Los Angeles, I lived there for a long time. There were so many beautiful people there, young people, that worked as waitresses and they worked in telemarketing companies and
inspiring
actresses and actors, and they all worked in the Valley. Remember?
Where it's cheaper rent.
Yeah, the rent's a lot cheaper, and they
it's
all live together. They have the porn industry there in case you need to fall back on something.
Porn capital of the world.
Yeah, sure is. And there's so many of them, and the odds of you know, I mean, they all have these jobs where they can go to these auditions.
Sure.
So when they go to an audition, you should see some of these places. You always know when you're driving your car, there's an audition somewhere because there's a line of people around the block. So the odds are just so against you unless you're born into Hollywood, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so many of these kids, they try, and if they don't make it by the time they're like 25 to 30 years old, they're old.
They're no longer usable.
They're no longer, so you have to, so that's why these men, I guess that's why I would never do something like that. Because a woman tells me no, I go, oh, no problem. Back off. Never call you again.
Well, like they say, if you want to go vertical.
I don't like rejection, but, you know, I've had plenty of it. And it's, as most men have, you know, I mean, it's the way it is. But you got to respect the gals. That's the way I was raised. But if you want to make it in Hollywood, that's what you got to do. You got to put out.
If you want to go vertical movement in Hollywood, you got to get horizontal.
Very well put. Put out or get out.
Exactly.
So now they've been putting out, and now things have changed. The times have changed, and they're running after the lawyers to sue these people. Val Kilmer, perfect example. Just the other day, a woman came out and said, you know, when he was making the movie The Doors, there was a gal there that he supposedly hit her. Because I don't know exactly the details, but she's trying to sue him now after all these years. When was that movie made? That was a long time ago.
Late 90s, I think. I mean, early 90s, when he was still able to get an acting job.
So anyway, Figueroa, it's going to be a good Shirley Field tonight at 7:30, and the Toros will look for back-to-back wins. They don't like each other. The Mustangs travel to Sherryland looking to stay in District 35A title race. Good luck with that. And I don't know if that's going to happen, but we wish you the best. I would be going to this Shirley Field game if I were you, James. I'd be going to Figueroa and the Toros.
Well, I was planning on actually going to see the Alexandrian United play Saturday tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
You were talking
in volleyball. I was going to go see a volleyball tournament tomorrow.
Women's volleyball.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's the number 1 seed versus number 2 seed.
Oh, okay.
Kind of important.
There must be a World Series game on tonight.
Tomorrow night.
Well, what are you doing tonight?
Well, actually, there is a World Series game on tonight, but You don't like to talk about that.
No,
But I won't
World
miss them.
Series, I don't have a problem with baseball. They don't kneel down, act like assholes.
I know.
Disrespect
that's good
the
for
flag.
Them. Good for them.
I'm rooting for the Astros, man.
And they're playing in Houston at Minute Maid Park.
What is that? Minute Maid, really?
That's the name
Well,
of the
you
park.
think that would be a park in Florida where they make
It's a sponsor.
where they have
That's
orange
all.
juice, you know?
It's just a sponsor.
Minute Maid? Do you drink Minute Maid?
Yeah.
All right, in other news, you know, these border security computers that you see when you come in across a border or when you're going across mile marker 29, I was reading about the computer systems used by the Department of Homeland Security, Frontline Border Protection Agency. They're real bad, slow, frequent blackouts. And that's kind of alarming if you want to know the truth about it. If your computers aren't working at 100% and you think the U.S. government would have computers that were extremely fast and efficient,
One would
but
imagine.
it has been found out, incredibly, thousands of Customs and Border Protection agents rely on flawed information technology, bad systems that work whenever they feel like it. And I don't know how, and I feel for the Border Patrol and the customs agents that have to deal with stuff like that, because I know what it is like, probably you do too, when you're dealing with a slow computer or one that crashes all the time. So how in the hell are you going to keep terrorists and weapons out of the United States if your computers are always going down?
Well, Jay, don't say that too much because they might want to start some kind of a fee to revamp their whole computer system.
Well, no, the federal government doesn't act necessarily like these municipalities. By the way, there is a group of people here in Laredo that are going after the city council about this $3 road maintenance fee that they want to put on your water bill.
I heard about that.
So good for them. It's the Chamber of Commerce, of all people. Please shut up. The Chamber of Commerce. Well, what are you representing? Well, we're representing our 6,000 or 7,000 members, business members. They get a $10 hike per month if you're a business. So you get a $10 hike per month. This fee is not a fee; it's a tax, and they called it out as a tax. Well, they must be listening to the program because I don't think the guy that runs the place really knows what the hell he's doing. But I'm not saying any more about it. I don't care about the Laredo Chamber of Commerce. I think they're biased. I think they entertain the rich, and all the awards that they give out are people that are filthy rich. They don't ever give out an award to, say, a mom and pop shop that's just barely making it. The Laredo Chamber of Commerce, very selective in who they give their awards out to every year. It's a country club, of course. And they make a big deal out of it, but it's always some rich cat with a lot of money, like IBC or some really filthy rich company. But never a guy like me. You know what I mean?
It's like a pool of the same 5 people, and they just rotate it year after year. The winner.
Well, they have plenty of rich people here, so they, whatever, rotate it. I don't know about rotating it, but it's always a rich person. I have this. I don't want to. This is Hollywood stuff. I don't know how I got a hold of that. What else do you have, James? Do you have anything else interesting? Or?
I have some information on Tammy Yu. The ladies took it on the chin pretty bad last night.
Tammy
5-1.
What were they playing, James?
They were playing against Edwards University.
What they playing?
Soccer, I said.
Soccer. Oh, you said soccer? I
Yes,
didn't
I
hear
did.
you. Sorry.
5-1, and if you know soccer, that's a beatdown.
5-1.
Yeah. They don't usually score three goals a game. Both teams combined.
Our friends in Venezuela. Have you ever been to Venezuela? I used to know a guy in California. He was from Venezuela. Real cool cat. He was a stuntman for Paramount Pictures. But Venezuela is due to be paying back $2 billion in bond payments, and that will be due Monday, but they don't have the money. Global investors have been bracing for when Venezuela defaults on this $2 billion in bond payments. State-owned oil companies, $985 million in principal and interest due today, and another $1.2 billion due on November the 2nd. They're not going to be able to make it because all the corrupt politicians over there have squandered and spent the money or have hidden the money in foreign banks somewhere. Mm-hmm. But I see stuff like this, and I don't want to equate or relate it to. I just hate bonds. Bonds are an easy way. It's just like getting a new credit card. When you get a bond, it's like, here's a credit card. Doesn't have any. It's zero balance. You start from scratch and you start charging.
And you don't have to
and
pay
you
back.
give a politician or a government body like the city of Laredo a credit card, or Webb County a credit card, and they go ape shit.
They max it out.
They max it out. $125 million for jail? Let me make you some interesting comparisons in case you didn't hear. Well, I know you didn't hear.
Please inform me.
Can I inform you? The new jail will not fight crime as they've been advertising, and I've been saying that myself. It will just raise your taxes, which I've been saying, but it's only $3 a month. If it's a $100,000 house you own, and it'll go up in increments, and before you know it, it'll be $35 a month. And it'll be going on for years. I'll be dead and gone many, many years before this thing is paid for. I mean, I hate to say it, but one of the interesting things that this watchdog group has pointed out, listen to this, James.
Mm-hmm.
Other things like Bexar County have approved the construction of a jail tower around there anymore.
Sure.
They're going to make a jail tower in their downtown area, adding 512 beds. 512. Keep that number in mind. For a total cost of $32 million. We are adding 170 beds, costing, well, the starting kickoff price is $125 million.
Right.
So, why
Twice
don't
as
you,
many beds for 3 times the money.
right? So, hell, if they're going to spend that much money on that jail, those cells must be really freaking nice. You know what I'm saying? They must have TVs, microwaves, refrigerators, the whole 9 yards.
Mini bar.
Mini bar. Hell, I might want to go there. Because they're trying to equate, you just divide the $125 million into 170 beds, and you got yourself a Taj Mahal. When San Antonio is spending $32 million for 512 beds. What's up with that, Martine? Can you explain that? We would love to hear from you.
They must be pretty swanky.
They must be pretty swanky jail. They have tennis courts and putt-putt golf and all that stuff, too. You see a picture of it here. It's like, God, whoa.
An artist rendering?
Yeah. Well, have you seen it?
No.
Well, look at that, man.
Whoa.
Pretty snazzy, huh?
Mm-hmm. All they need is neon lights.
Oh. We're going to have a casino? Anyway, the current jail has always met state standards for the last 8 years. And thank you, Martine, for that. It's always been 100% compliant. We used to have other sheriffs that could never, always a nightmare with the state inspections. But it seems to be going well for Martine Cuellar for the last 8 years. So the question these people are asking, why do we need a new jail? And what's this about 31 years old? Like, you think that's old? That is not a selling point. Well, our jail, you see it on the commercials on KGNS, right? Our jail is 31 years old. I'm going, oh, man. 31 years old. Wowee.
I didn't realize there was a time limit on.
Well, there's some jails in the state of Texas that are fully functional over 100 years old.
Sure.
You know?
How old is Huntsville, for crying out loud?
Really? There's a perfect example right there. And here's another startling piece of truth. Only a selected few will actually benefit from this new jail bond. Special interest groups will make millions in contracts, and that's what we've been talking about. All the construction contracts, can you imagine how many of those that there will be up for grabs? This is how local, and I'm not saying or pointing a finger at anybody, but I'm just saying in general that this is how when county government or city government builds buildings, brick and mortar buildings, and they're using their purse strings, usually with a credit card like a bond, money has a tendency to get lost. Money has a tendency to get in people's back pockets where it doesn't belong. And a lot of corruption. And on these border towns, all along the border, not just here, it's especially bad. But it's this way all over the country. It's not so. If everybody else can, here's the attitude. If everybody else can do it all over the country, because we hear about it in the news all the time, about how people steal money from the government, including well, we won't get into doctors and Medicare this morning. Then I'll save that for you for another day. But yeah, in various ways, people just have this really mentality that it's okay to steal money from the government.
Yeah, it just falls through the cracks.
It just falls through the cracks, and it's not really a crime, but it is a crime. It's stealing, and if you get caught, you'll go to jail, supposedly.
Misappropriation of resources.
So here we have $125 million that will soon turn into $150 to $175, but there will be major overruns, as in every project that's ever been done in Webb County. That's the way it works. And those overages that I'm speaking of are overages that nobody usually can never account for. So yes, it'll benefit wealthy landowners and make a few special interest groups who own construction companies very wealthy off the backs of the taxpayers. Do we have watchdog groups for that once the project starts? No, we don't. We have citizen advisory groups for that? Yes, we do. And guess who picks those people? The people that are stealing.
Yeah,
silly.
The wolves watching the chicken coop.
That's exactly right. So we have a landowner who is $285,000 an acre.
Wow. Very
for a total of $11.4 million. That right there, I would put my foot down and say this is ridiculous. First of all, he's the first one stealing with his hand out. I want 200. You want to put the jail here?
Really?
And nowhere else? And you told me that? Well, I think I want $285,000 per acre.
But I wanted a lot less 2 months ago.
Yeah, but I only wanted $85,000 an acre or $50,000 an acre 6 months ago before you came in here and shot off your big mouth. So now that you shot off your big mouth and you told me this is absolutely, positively, 100% where we want the next Webb County jail, I think I want $285,000 per acre. You fool. So that's a total of $11.4 million of land right there.
They don't play poker very well in this town.
Anybody that would vote for a municipality that would pay $285,000 for an acre of land out in the middle of nowhere is an absolute. The person just doesn't. He's not educated. And they don't want you educated in this town. One of the things I was telling my brother, well, I've told you on many occasions, they want to keep you dumbed down. So they give you this phony advertising. And by the way, not only do they give you phony advertising, they hire people to come in from out of town for huge amounts of money, consulting Colin Struthers from Austin, Texas, former campaign manager for Henry Cuellar when he was running against Ciro Crybaby Rodriguez back years ago. Colin Struthers has been hired by, well, who other than, well, I guess, I'm trying to think how this went down. So Brother Martine and Brother Henry are on the phone one day. Okay. Well, I got to get this jail built, but I need somebody. I got to get somebody really good to promote it, you know. Do you know any good front men to promote the jail?
Hired gun.
Well, I used to have Henry. I'm just I'm not paraphrasing. I'm just making this stuff up.
I think so.
I'm doing satire now. And let's call it satire.
Yeah, be safe.
Well, Brother Martine, I have a fella from Austin. He is a campaign type manager, consultant, front man, whatever you want. He'll whatever kind of bullshit you need, he's got it. Okay, if you need a good investigative kind of guy, you need some trash on somebody, like I did when I was running against crybaby Ciro Rodriguez. Boy, did we shut him down. And you know who shut him down, don't you? It was this radio program that shut Ciro Crybaby. I gave him the name Crybaby Rodriguez because he was crying like a baby when the recount was going on, screaming how unfair it was and this and that and the other. Well, anyway, we couldn't hire anybody here locally to advertise or get out there and do some. Nobody. They don't want anybody here doing any type of investigative reporting because if you asked me to do it, I would do it for free, number one, and I would tell you exactly what I'm telling you now. There's just not enough information out there. So anyway, Brother Henry is talking to Brother Martine. Yeah, Colin Struthers from Austin, hire him. So how much do you hire a guy like Colin Struthers for? He's not your he's got a lot of experience and he costs money.
He's not just the run-of-the-mill
lobbyist. Yeah, this guy costs money. So I'm thinking Colin probably said, well, let's see, I got to work for how long? 3 weeks? And you want me to call around? He called a show the other day over here. Pushing the jail. I don't know, 15, 20,000 maybe? That sounds like a nice round number for 2-3 weeks work. I'm just guessing.
God only knows.
God only knows. It could be 30. But I can guarantee you one thing. Who's paying for that? Did the county court, did the commissioner's court have a item that was up for that? I would like to know who paid for that.
They're just passing the cost on down.
Who paid for that? Did drug money pay for that? Did we, the taxpayers here in Webb County, pay for Colin Struthers to strut around Laredo and push the jail? I mean, to be honest with you, he interviewed on this program, and he completely caught me off guard because when he called up here, I was going, I know who this guy is. I know who this guy is. Finally, it hit me. After he was calling up here, and he goes, "This is Colin Struthers. I am pro jail." Like it was almost like just a regular listener call, you know. And I go, "I know this." I said, "What's your name?" Colin Struthers. Oh, okay. Well, the next, it takes me a while at my age. My recall's not so good, but this was like 10 years ago since I last heard his name. So I thought 24 hours of recall wasn't so bad, you know. But I was lying in bed getting ready to get up to go to work, and I go, I know who this guy is. Now I know who this guy is. So they hired this guy. Nobody knows about it. And what is he doing? He's running ads in the LMT, and he talked to me for 5 or 10 minutes. And then he talked to Our Laredo, which is another watchdog group, which you can see on their Facebook page, the interview. They were sitting at a barbecue table having an interview. Vish. You know, Vish is from the Middle East. Well, what do you think of the Now, see, I'm not political. Look, it's just satire, okay? Don't get... Sergio used to get so mad at me when I do that.
You trying to do a Middle Eastern accent?
I don't know.
It's kind of Indian, isn't it?
I don't know. Well, he's from India.
Oh, okay.
That's where he's from. Thank you. No, but he is from India. He ran for... he said he ran for office one time, and I said, "You're running for office, really? Oh, they're going to vote you in here and oh yeah." But anyway, he has a watchdog group because he needs, and it's a nice for him to get involved and everything. But it was kind of funny to listen to the interview. So anyway, he interviewed with him. Getting back to what he's done, Colin Struthers. From the Smothers Brothers.
The Struthers Brothers.
The Struthers Brothers. So, and I know about that. He kind of running it, but that's about it. You know.
Well, I have one more Tammy U score if you'd like to hear about it from last night.
Maybe I could have been convinced if they would have offered me $20,000 to say nice things about it. But since I'm not on terrestrial radio anymore, I'm not relevant. So I'm not relevant now. Okay, but we will be relevant one day and one day soon. Hopefully for this midterm election process. Yes, I'm sorry. What?
I have the men's soccer team at Tammy U prevailed.
Nobody cares about that. Or do they?
Well,
how dare you say that, Jay?
It's local.
Yeah, how dare you?
Anyway,
there's a lot of people that like soccer.
Dallas
I just don't
Baptist.
like soccer, I guess.
I know. I don't like it either, but they beat them.
How do you sit there for 2-3 hours and the score is 1-0?
Oh, this one was 2-1.
And it's the most popular sport in the world, you know.
Because it's so cheap.
All you need is a ball and a
all you need is a ball and a net and a field.
Well,
I mean, if Bangladesh can field a soccer team, anybody can.
Are you saying that soccer is just for impoverished nations?
Pretty much so.
Okay. Well, the truth hurts sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, they can't afford a football field or a basketball court.
Yeah, we love our expensive sports here in the United States, don't we? That's why I don't like them. I just can't. It's very hard for me to watch an asshole that jumps up and down and acts like a child.
Doing his job.
They, like in football, that celebrates because he made a tackle. Celebrates they celebrate anything. They act like fools out there, and I just can't watch it.
Well, I think I told you last week I saw a guy jumping around, doing a dance after sacking a quarterback, and his team was down by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, and then there was a celebration where one guy played hide and seek
behind the goalpost.
Yeah, I'm going like, what are you? I can't, and they're making millions of dollars, yeah. and then they disrespect the flag.
Well, that's
there's not the platform to complain when the national anthem is going off, and you can't make up any excuse for that. There is no excuse for shaming our flag, and that's what you're doing. And if you want to call people like me racist because I say that, just go ahead, because I'm getting to be. Guess what? I'm beginning to become a racist because of you, because of people like you.
Them, really.
Them.
Yeah.
You want to call me a racist? Well, I think I'm becoming one very rapidly. And I think a lot of other people are becoming that as well. And guess what? They're not saying it, but I could guarantee you it's happening.
Underground racism
it's happening.
Everywhere.
It is happening. You're backing here's the thing about the blacks. They keep backing themselves up and backing themselves up and backing themselves up. If you will just come to the table, tell the truth, and we can all work together. But it's not about the truth. It's about just hating white people. Just hate white people.
Or at least feeling disrespected.
Oh, Jesus. I understand some of your plight. But you know, for you, I can't tell you how many times I've been called privileged white guy. Was I raised privileged white?
Hardly.
Not hardly. Not hardly. And everybody that's white is privileged white, period, you know. And let me tell you who you should be blaming for a lot of your plight is the white elitist Democrats up in Washington, D.C., who keep you down in your inner city shitholes. Okay? They could do something about that, but they don't. And they want you to keep getting those abortions. Yeah, that's the ticket. And they want to keep throwing you crumbs like food stamps. Those are crumbs. They laugh just to keep you voting for them. Don't you see that?
Yeah.
Don't you see that?
It'd be interesting to find out how many billions have been poured into urban development.
Don't you see that? You think after years and years of being oppressed like that, you wouldn't figure it out. You wouldn't figure out that the Schumer and Hillary Clinton and the Elizabeth Warrens and all those people that are running the Democratic Party in Washington D.C. They're the ones that are having the champagne and the expensive houses all over together. How can you be a politician, a public servant, have nothing going in, and become a millionaire if you stay in there long enough and be part of the elitist establishment? And you keep going back and voting for them. But they're the white people you need to be talking. Don't be talking about me. I'm poor. But you want to talk about me being racist? Well, you're making me racist, and you're doing it very quickly. By the way, very quickly. I'm not. I think I'm really angry. Is what it is. Every time I think about these football players, I get angry.
You're an angry white man.
I'm just a dirty, angry white man. But I'm not a groper.
No,
I don't. I don't. I can't tell you how much I respect women, and I can't tell you how mad I get when I hear about domestic violence.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's telling the truth. Honestly, I know.
That's my brother, but I'm an asshole in many, many other ways.
Yes, you are.
Don't get me wrong, but when a lady says no. That's exactly what it is. No.
Stop.
Bye. Oh, I'm not interested. Okay, thank you. I tried.
You got to give it a shot.
I mean, I was reading a Playboy magazine like when I was 10 years old, and
for the articles.
I was actually reading the articles, believe it or not. Now, where was I? Yeah, I was reading the articles, and Hugh Hefner had wrote a little piece in there. And it said, well, you know, before he became famous and before he discovered Playboy and stuff like that, he remembered going out, you know, bar hopping and stuff like that and chasing the ladies, you know, in L.A. And he said, well, you know, here's the deal with chasing, trying to find a one-night stand or whatever. When a woman says no, she says no. But you know what? You just have to don't get down on yourself because you've been rejected. Just go to the next table, and then if that one go to the next table. But the odds of you striking out if you keep your head up and keep trying are very slim to none. Right. You just got to keep going. You got to get up and dust yourself off and go get another rejection, and then one of these days somebody's going to say
you'll get better at your pitch the more you're rejected.
That's right. Exactly. That's exactly what he said. He says, and you get better at it as you go along. You go, God, I didn't say that right. Let's see.
That's the wrong approach.
Oh, and have a few whiskeys to get your confidence up. I don't know.
Your inhibitions down.
Couple tequilas or something, you know. Well, anyway, that's so funny.
I have just a little. This is all I have for the rest of the day, I think, unless you want. But I have a little dirt on the NFL, if you'd like. One of our Houston Texans, Brian Cushing, he's a very, very good linebacker. Yeah. Well, he tested positive for PEDs.
What is that?
Performance-enhancing drugs.
Oh, okay.
For the second time, and he was suspended. Second time since 2010. So this is strike two. I don't know what their policy is if he fails again, and I don't know when he's going to come back. It's indefinite.
Well, okay.
He didn't pee in a cup.
See, here's how stupid these people are. They get caught once, and if you get caught and you got a $3 million a year contract.
Sure.
So they go, okay, you got to take a piss test, and if you get caught taking enhancement drugs, they say, hey, if you get caught again, it could be really bad for you. And you think, you go, oh, well, I'll quit.
Yeah. And then it happens
But
again.
they think they're so smart that they can get away with it. And then they go, you've already failed once, so there's spotlights on you.
Yeah,
right?
you're red flagged.
Yeah. So they call you in again, and you fail again.
That's what they call hubris.
But you know what? The NFL keeps putting up with it, and they don't have any real discipline, so they keep, well, why not push the line?
Well, the only discipline they have really is to deny you your paycheck. And that's what
Well,
they're
that's
doing.
what they should do. It's just like this, who's that running back for Cowboys? I don't even know.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Ezekiel?
Ezekiel, out of the Bible, right?
Okay, Ezekiel. That's a nice name.
It's right out of the Bible.
Right out of the Bible. Elliott, and he was accused of beating up his girlfriend?
Yes, but he was never charged by the local entities.
It doesn't matter.
Being accused is enough these days.
Let me tell you what. Women don't walk around saying, oh, he beat me up and it didn't happen. They just don't. That's something women just don't make up.
Most.
And then they go around the NFL, they interview all her friends and her family members and all this other stuff, and they come up with the conclusion that, yes, you did do that. Even though you weren't arrested or you didn't get charged or whatever, they still have enough in their evidence book.
Well, they don't need evidence. They have a
conduct clause.
Behavior clause, sure.
So anyway, they suspend him for six
Well, they
games.
haven't done that yet.
But
They keep putting off.
but he beats up his girlfriend. I got no respect for him. I got no room for him. I don't care if he drops dead tomorrow. But boy, you Dallas Cowboy fans just think he hung the moon. But he's not a good citizen.
If you beat women, you are not. No.
So why do you watch the Dallas Cowboys? You just can't help yourself. You're addicted.
Yeah, okay.
Man, you go and
I like my football, Jay.
Man, I'm telling you, in Laredo, they like their football here. Man, you go to Buffalo Wild Wings or TKO's when a Dallas Cowboy game is going on. Woo! A lot of fun. A lot of beer drinking.
Yep.
A lot of whiskey drinking.
A lot of alcohol going on.
A lot of alcohol. Yeah, President Trump talking about opioids yesterday. And for the first time, I used to say that you cannot win the war on drugs. But for the first time, because the U.S. government's been involved in a lot of this, they're not so innocent. Believe me. As far as these drugs, these painkillers, when the DEA said, hey, a lot of the problems are with the distribution, and we're making it easy to buy over the internet, yada, yada, yada. The DEA can only go do so much. They don't make policy. They just enforce laws. Well, they wanted some new laws made so that they could go after these people, the manufacturers and the distributors. But the lobbyists were in Washington stuffing the politicians' pockets full of money, and it never happened. It never happened. So I blame the United States government for a lot of this opioid situation that we have now. Yeah. I blame them, and so does Trump. He doesn't come out and openly say that, but I played part of his speech this morning, and I'm telling you, this guy is going after the opioid distribution network, and he's going after the thugs that are coming across the border with this stuff, the Chinese especially, and all these internet companies and stuff like that.
They're pill dumping in
But
Mexico.
the only way you're going to have the only way you can win the war on drugs, the only way, and he said it spot on.
Stop demand.
The only way is stop demand by how? Educating the children. Educating the children. And he asked that people in the communities everywhere get involved, donate some of their time to help educate the children about drugs. And I think I'm the perfect guy for that. So I'm willing to go around to some of these schools, elementary schools. You got to start at the elementary level.
Got to get them
Once
young.
they're in junior high, If they're doing it in junior high school, it's over for you. You just can't turn them around most of the time. So, and we spend billions of dollars trying to turn kids around, but it doesn't do any good.
Well, you knew, Jay, that more people die from prescribed opioids than do all illegal drugs combined.
We lose over 175 people a day in this country on opioids. Did you know that?
I didn't know that number, but it's
that's
a big
number.
one.
It's a big number. And Trump was talking about that. You didn't watch the speech yesterday? Oh, you don't. You're too busy.
Yes, I did.
You did?
I saw parts
of it.
Yeah.
But he is dead serious about, and he's going to pull out all the stops, including giving all these government agencies whatever they need to do the job, as where Obama did nothing. He did nothing. And did Obama do anything for the black communities, the inner city black communities, while he was president? Let me think. No. But boy, I tell you, every time a Democrat wants your vote, man, they're going to come out there and say, oh, we're going to give you this. And y'all keep buying it. So when you call me a privileged white guy, that's a racist statement to me. And if I say anything derogatory about how you act or what you believe or your ideology, and if I don't agree with if I don't agree with whatever you say, then that makes me a racist. That's what they love, that race card. And they have race baiters that do it for a living. Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. That's exactly Reverend. That's so funny. That's exactly how they make their living, is through the race card.
Yeah, you can become a reverend over the internet.
Yeah. I'm Reverend J. St. John, and I'm a saint. You see the little halo above my head?
Yeah, your name's in the Bible, too.
Yeah. Come on. I have churches named after me, for crying out loud. St. John Church, right down the street there on Carlton and Springfield, huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
You ought to attend sometime.
The roof would fall on my head if I walked into it.
Lightning would strike you in the parking lot.
All right.
The hand of God.
Yes. Now you're cooking, my friend. Now you're cooking. Let's see here. We got the big Ferris wheel coming to the Outlet Shops at Laredo. Since nobody ever goes there, they're going to put a carnival in the parking lot October 27th. That's October 27th through the 29th. This weekend, they're going to have a 47-foot Ferris wheel. 47.
I was going to ask you, how tall is it?
47 feet.
That's not that terribly high. I mean, have you seen that Ferris wheel they have in London?
I know. I mean,
that's huge.
Well, this is one of these, they come in an 18-wheeler and they snap everything together.
Right.
And hope they don't have any.
And hope the nuts and bolts stick.
Yeah, hope the nuts and bolts stick and no kid comes flying out on one of the rides,
Protection bar does its job.
It's called the kickoff fall shopping season with the big, they call it the big Ferris wheel, 47 foot. The Outlet Shops and the big round wheel this weekend. I'm telling you, this is the social news part of the program.
Okay.
So we have that going on. A family affair, a family event this weekend at the outlet malls. Take your kids down there. And, when I was a kid, it didn't matter. Just so mom and dad threw me in the car and we went somewhere.
Will they be ROSPA and colored balloons?
Oh, sure. And cotton candy and all that stuff will be there. And you can enjoy, I love this line. So here's this guy's writing copy. What can I say good about this big wheel? Enjoy a spectacular ride overlooking the majestic Rio Grande River.
And it is majestic.
And it is majestic. Just bring a clothes clip with you, because if you get up there out 40 feet up in the air, you might smell.
You might get a whiff of something.
I don't know. The ride opens Friday and Saturday from 12 noon until 8 p.m. and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Children under 48 inches, be sure to measure your child. Ride for free. Hell, we got, never mind.
You have to be this tall.
Can't say anything nice. Just shut up, Jay. Okay, 48 inches. The ride is $5 per person. $5? Are you serious?
How many turns around the Ferris wheel do you get for
$5? Adults and children over 48 inches, the ride is $5 per person. Wow.
That's got to be a long ride for $5.
Get $2 off with proof of purchase, same-day receipt from any of the stores at the outlet shops at Laredo. So go in there and buy a candy bar. Do they have a drugstore in that? I don't know. We are all gearing up for great promotions and spectacular savings during this year's holiday shopping season. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Another big fat failure, the outlet malls of Laredo. And all they had to do is look across the parking lot.
Little activity.
And see the $24 million building that we built right there next to the Border Patrol crossing. And you would see all those shops have been empty for I don't know how long. 85% of that building has been empty. And if I would have been any kind of investor, I would have said, "Well, what's that building over there?" Well, you don't want to know about that. That's just a building. The city of Laredo built that. They didn't plan it right. I mean, it's nice and everything, you know.
It's got a nice paint job, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
that.
I mean, Gary Linedecker built it, and but it just hadn't worked out, you know. 85% empty, and the city was going to rent those spaces out and make all kinds of money and repay the taxpayers the $25 million. It's another Laredo turd. Brought to you by your local city council and your illustrious city managers of the past, and we'll see what this guy does here now. But pretty much everything's been a failure, James, that they've built over the last 15 years that I've been here.
Well, if the Chamber of Commerce, their job is to promote the city, right? Shouldn't they start with cleaning up downtown?
No, their job is to collect dues from businesses all over town. And their job is to, I don't know what, other than collect money, I don't see that they give back to the community whatsoever. They collect money and have nice, lovely dinners at the country club every year. And they give out awards, whatever. They blow smoke up these rich people's asses, and they turn around and give them money. I wish I could do that. You know, but I don't know what the Chamber of Commerce has done for the city of Laredo. I don't really know. I'm glad you brought that up.
Well,
I don't know of any. I don't know of any real accomplishments. They haven't brought any businesses here.
Their job is to promote.
You know, if Walmart, if the Walmart wants to build another Walmart, right? They build another Walmart, but I guess they take credit for it. And them and the Laredo Foundation.
Yeah, stimulate business supposedly.
The LDF, the Laredo Development Foundation, they take credit too. They're another outfit that I don't even does. I wonder if our Chamber of Commerce gets third-party funding too. You know the guy that runs that place? He's from Nuevo Laredo. Isn't that great? That's great, isn't it?
Convenient.
Oh, I just go to America, and some of the politicians here that in the past that have been politicians here, that have been elected politicians, are not from this country either. But that's top secret information. You're not to know that.
Right.
You're not to know that, but I know it.
Is there a dossier on that?
Well, there, you know, but yeah, sure, you can come over here, and as long as you stay under the radar, manipulate the system, especially coming over at a young age, and you know, like we have every day, we have kids that come across the bridge to go to school here because they have an aunt or an uncle that live here, so they have an address. So when they go register for school, they just give them their aunt or uncle's address, and they're in, because you don't need a birth certificate. You don't need to prove that you're a U.S. citizen to enter public schools in the state of Texas, or any state for that matter. You just walk on over and plop your ass down and free education. That's the ticket.
Yeah, that's...
So these kids get educated here. They figure out how to manipulate the system, and the next thing you know, they're the mayor or the city councilman or whatever. Jay, you're so full of crap. You don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Cynical.
Mr. Cynical. You're just a racist. You're just a racist. That guy that runs the Chamber of Commerce, he's not from Nuevo Laredo. He's from Laredo. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. You're just a big old ass rumor mill. You're over there having fun, just satiring away. Satiring away.
Swilling coffee.
Making
fun of people.
Taking painkillers. They want me to turn in my painkillers. Oh, no. My hydrocodones. What am I going to do without those? All right. I got we have various topics that we talk about on this program. We have sports. We have I just did the social news, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to do the health news. Have you seen the stuff I put on our website? We're having a store. James and I went to go to San Antonio the other day, and we decided that we're going to have a store. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. Put a store on the website to help support the program, and because we don't take money from politicians and we don't take money from the government. This is a watchdog program. We do take advertisers and we do take contributions, but we don't really beg for money. We're not beggars. So I want to put a store together for your health.
Right. And we've got a Chinese connection.
We have a Chinese connection. I'm talking a real Chinese connection.
Real Chinese.
Yeah. I mean, she knows everybody in China. Believe me. We've known this. Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee Lou Skelton.
Yeah, she goes 12 times a year, and that's no BS.
Yeah, she wants to take us with her.
Right.
And anyway, she's a renowned
holistic.
What else?
Purveyor.
/ what do you call these people that want to make you live longer?
Nutritionist?
She's also a nutritionist, yes. And anyway, she'll make you live longer. And she wants a show with us. And I'm going to give her an hour. And you will love her because she is so...
very entertaining.
So Chinese. And her English is so fun. So much fun.
Right.
And everything that she says, after everything that she says, right? She wants your acknowledgement. And she'll say something, right? I'm going to the store, right? Do you need anything, right? But once you get used to listening to her, she's just a ball.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
And she wants you to call up here and talk about your health and talk about all this stuff, all these different herbs, and she knows them all. What makes you feel good? What will fight depression? What will
help you sleep better?
What will get you get your sex life better? The whole 9 yards. She's all wrapped up in one, but she's like 56 years old, and she's cute as a bug in a rug, and she just knows a lot. She really does. But she just for her to do an hour on the radio will be like nothing.
It'll pass by like you would believe.
And when you first hear her, you'll want to turn her off. You'll go, "Oh my God, I'm not going to listen to this."
Give her a chance.
But once you start listening to her, and just really kind of absorb what she's saying to you, she'll hook you for a very long time. For a very long time, she's that good. Seriously. So we're going to have her on the show starting next year. And who else are we going to have on the show starting next year? Hopefully, if you have a good show that you might want to audition for, we'd be more than happy to entertain you. One of the Dr. Vernon
Williams
will be on the show.
Via Skype, probably.
Via Skype, and I guarantee you, Dr. Williams will keep you glued. Dr. Vernon F. Williams of San Antonio.
Yeah, he went to Harvard and got his medical degree from Albert Einstein School of Medicine.
Yeah, Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein.
Well, he is about wellness and age management, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Age management medicine, stress management, weight reduction, energy medicine, genetic test. He does genetic testing. He's got just a beautiful office in San Antonio.
He even does liposuction right in his office.
Right in his office, yeah. He there is a menu of what he does on the Laredo Citizens for Good Government, as well as the St. John Radio Facebook page. It's got his address on there and everything like that. So I wanted to find out if I could get some more energy, and he's going to work with me. I'm his patient now, you know.
Right, and he told me that he has more patients outside of San Antonio than inside.
Well, he actually used to work at Doctor's Hospital.
Here in Laredo.
On call.
Right.
In Laredo. He would come down from San Antonio when his specialty was needed. And but he has a beautiful office in San Antonio. And I'm just so sick and tired, ladies and gentlemen, of this processed food. You can't go anywhere. You can't go to Applebee's. You can't go, all this processed food. You know, I went to Applebee's and I used to go there all the time. When I found out they shipped that stuff in bags. Right, all the food that they serve, they ship it in bags, except for maybe cooking a steak. And then they, you know, they're microwave city in their kitchen,
deep frying things,
and then steaming stuff that comes in bags. And you know, I used to love their ribs, and I found out they were frozen and come in and anyway. Everything's processed. Everything's bad for you.
Yeah, so many preservatives out there. You're going to end up being like a mummy.
Yeah. So I'm a coffee nut. I'm a coffee nut because I get up like really early in the morning. So James and I went to one of his little what would you call that?
An information seminar, maybe.
Yeah. Because he's pushing these teas and coffees and stuff that he gets from China.
Right. Totally organic.
Totally organic. And I'm going, oh brother, $38 a box for a month's supply, okay? Well, I only pay like $6 or $7, $8 a month for my coffee that I get at HEB. That's what I told him. He laughed at me. He said, "Man, you're an idiot. Try some of this." And I go, "Okay." So I got a cup of coffee while I was sitting there listening to his pitch on these products, because I went because I want to put these products in my store. I want the best herbs, spices, holistic medicines I can find from China, and I want to put because the people over in China are experts at this kind of stuff, and I want to have a store full of this stuff because I want to take these things for me because I'm getting old and I'm tired of prescription drugs. You know, I take a heart medicine thing and a blood pressure thing, and you know, I'm just falling apart. So I drank this cup of coffee that's organic, and it's herbal, right?
Right.
And I had one cup, and then the girl comes over with another cup. I didn't ask for another cup, and you had a cup.
I had a cup.
And I'm telling you, I mean, I drove back to Laredo. I was going to spend the night because I didn't want to fall asleep driving. I was like a rocket ship. I mean, I even had a hard-on the whole time I came back.
You could have left that part out, Jay.
I'm kidding.
No, I wouldn't doubt it.
No, I'm kidding. I didn't have a hard-on. Jesus. You know, I just do stuff like that just to throw you off. But, you know, this thing gave me so much energy. And then you said on your one cup it gave you a bunch of energy.
I hadn't eaten anything all day.
Right.
And we go down to Laredo. We visit with the doctor.
No,
and
San Antonio.
San Antonio, up to San Antonio.
Yeah.
And I drank a cup, and we went out to dinner, and I really wasn't very hungry. He kind of acted like an appetite suppressant.
Yeah, he got a big old bowl of food. He never turns down big old bowls.
No.
We went to this really nice restaurant because Dr. Lee wanted to take me for my birthday. For my birthday, right? Yeah, you had to take a dog. Did you eat that yet?
Yes, it's gone.
Yeah, I figured it wouldn't last very long. but yeah, this stuff is this coffee. I got a picture of the coffee that they have like 3 different flavors. They have a mocha and a regular, and I don't know. But I have the picture of the box of this coffee on my Facebook page, and it's in a black box. Mm-hmm. And all you do is just throw it in a cup of hot water.
Coffee.
Yeah, it's like instant coffee, but it will shoot you to the moon and back. You think Starbucks is good? No. Right. No, let's go to China and let's get some of their stuff over here.
Yeah, you'll stop spending $6 a pop at Starbucks.
And it's good for you.
Yeah, it's got properties in it that help you.
Yeah, it's good for you. So, especially mental. I've been kind of halfway sharp anyway. But I want to do that, and that's going to help support the program. And Dr. Vernon F. Williams, I look so forward to Skyping him. And he's going to do an hour show. I'm going to set up a studio for him in his office, just a little studio with a microphone and a little mixer and a computer. And he's going to do an hour show for us every week if I do that. And I said, well, of course I will do that. It'll promote your practice. And with you on the show, this guy is so good, right, James? I fell in love with him like right away.
Yeah, he's
a nice guy.
He's a teddy bear.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Oh, and he's black.
So?
You racist.
He's from Tobago.
He's from Tobago. I looked at him, and he looks at me. I go, yeah. And we didn't have to say anything. I'm going, you got all of these.
He needs more walls.
You need more walls for all of his
accolades,
certificates and accolades and stuff like that. And I'm kind of slumping down in my chair, and I said, I don't got anything. I got a few accolades. I got one from the fire department.
Smokey the Bear.
Yeah, I got a couple from the city council. They try to kiss my ass so I'd be nice. I got UISD. They give me one all the time. See, they're the only, UISD. I will tell you. They are the only ones when they come out with a bond that will actually sit down and answer all your questions anytime. They are transparent. United Independent School District is transparent. They are. They're one of the largest school districts in the state of Texas. Do you know that?
One of them, yeah.
And I know I like to make fun of people over there, but
you like to make fun of everybody, Jay.
Yeah. I'm just jealous because I want to be the superintendent of UISD and sit in that big leather
high back
Mediterranean chair and just bark out orders all day and make $250,000 a year. $250,000. Acting like the big shot. Oh, we got a sprinkler out over at United High School? Call the maintenance department. Oh, what? Our
school
student
bus broke down?
Our student absenteeism is up. We need to stop that. Well, we get $70,000. We get $70,000. Listen to me. We get $7,500 per ass
in a seat
by the federal government, as long as they meet a certain attendance record. So we want to make sure our attendance record is good. Got to address that problem right away. You say a school bus broke down?
Yeah, transmission screwed up.
Oh my God!
Can't get the little ones
another
to
transmission. Let's get that fixed right away. $250,000. $250,000. And of course, poor guy's starving to death. So we got to give him a cell phone, and we got to give him a car allowance and all kinds of other little perks that we have to give him because he's hurting, So, and then you have a bunch of other administrators that work for the school district that are well overpaid. Just another bureaucracy. Our school systems have turned into a great big bureaucracy. That's why our kids don't learn anything, because the federal government's involved.
And they teach to pass a test.
To pass a test. You know, when I was a kid, it was just all about the community. We our local school district was regulated by parents and teachers of the community, not
Hands
some
on.
bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. or
Hands
in
on,
Austin,
too.
Texas. Yeah, back in the day. So anyway, if we got anything else we'd like to bring up or bitch about today, don't forget about the big Ferris wheel this weekend.
Oh, I can't wait to see that $5 Ferris wheel.
$5, 40 feet tall, man.
But you said you get a discount if you buy something?
If you buy something at the outlet mall, yes, you get a discount. So I don't know if they have like a drugstore in there where you can go buy a candy bar or whatever. But as long as you have a receipt from any of those stores, yes, you can get
You need a
$2
pair of socks,
off.
don't you?
$2 off.
You could use some new
Anything,
socks.
just buy anything.
Yeah.
You got to do that, right? And use a receipt for the whole family. Like if there's 5 of you, just take that one receipt and say, "Here's my receipt," and then pass it back to the next kid. Here's my receipt. Pass it back to the next kid. You know how that works.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you. All right. I'm just so and the weather this weekend is going to be perfect for.
It is beautiful down here in October.
Yeah,
isn't
I
it?
just wonder where we're going to be turning in our drugs this weekend in Laredo. This has turned into your painkiller Saturday. According to Trump, we're having a turn in your opioids this Saturday, but we don't have a location here in Laredo. I would love to have
I'm at the police station.
Yeah. Walk into the police station with your opioids and say, you know
I
what?
don't need these
I'm
anymore."
coming clean. I want to turn these in because Trump said it was turn in your opioids Saturday. You're under arrest. Where did you get those?
Well, I do have a script, you know,
Well, I bought them from my friend. What do you think?
in a little baggie.
This little baggie here. All right. We talked about the groper. We got 10 minutes if you have anything else.
Well, no,
I'm telling you
not
that
necessarily.
I'm telling you that the Mustangs traveled to Sherryland looking to stay alive in 31.5A title race, but that's not the big story. The big story is Figueroa and the Toros are looking for back-to-back wins tonight at 7:30. They battle Martin at Shirley Field. So the Toros, the Figueroa and Martin. I think I said that wrong. That doesn't matter. You know what I mean.
Yeah, Figueroa.
Yeah, Figueroa. And then tomorrow night, the volleyball. United and Alexander.
Well, it's tomorrow afternoon, actually.
Well, okay.
I'll be there with bells on.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will. I need to borrow your binoculars.
Oh, don't say that. This is in a little tiny area, the volleyball thing.
Well, I got to see everything.
If you take a pair of binoculars, a 55-year-old man takes a pair of binoculars to a basketball court where they play volleyball in some high school gym, and you start looking at these girls with binoculars, it ain't going to be pretty.
Yeah.
Because some guy is going to come up there and
Call me a masher.
and no, he's going to kick your ass. That's what's going to happen. You don't play that kind of. You don't. No binoculars watching girls volleyball ever.
How about if I rent them from you?
No, you can't take the binoculars, James. You're not,
I understand. I'm
you're
just
not-
kidding.
you're
I'm
kid-
just kidding.
You are doing the kidding thing with me, aren't you? Because
Yeah,
I
I'm just
worry about you.
Pulling your leg.
I'm going to try to save
You
your
said
life.
we had time to kill, so
Oh
I was
yeah,
trying to kill some
well,
time.
that's funny. I mean, that's funny. I thought you were serious. I said, "Oh my God, my brother wants to." I didn't know you were
Pedophile?
No, pedophile. I don't know if
That's too strong a word.
That's too strong a word. Pedophile is for older guys that are looking at children.
Yeah.
You know, these are young women,
young ladies.
Yes, but you don't take a pair of binoculars into a high school gym or basketball.
It's a basketball gym that has a volleyball court
right.
attached to
You
it.
don't want to do that because somebody's going to some dad
think the wrong way.
Some dad is going to love
Get the
kicking
wrong
your
idea.
ass, stuffing those binoculars maybe where the sun don't shine.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on out of here, and I got to play. I want to get a word in for North Point this morning because
Yes.
they are our sponsors. We
Good
have
morning,
our-
Mr. Castillo.
Yeah, we have our studio here, and he listens for his commercial so he has to listen for 2 hours because I play it right at the end.
That's part of the plan.
That's part of the plan, man. You got to suffer with us for 2 hours. We'll be right back.
Hi, are you looking for office space but don't want to pay an arm and a leg? Would you rather avoid the time and hassle of setting up utilities? Then visit North Point Office Complex, where you can immediately move into affordable office space with utilities already included. North Point Office Complex is located right in the center of town at 1401 Quai del Norte, Suite 6. It has plenty of different sized offices available and offers the use of amenities such as a break room and a conference room and has plenty of parking. Visit or call North Point Office Complex at 956-726-4224 for more information. Also ask about their Ambassador Reception Hall, the ideal place for your next event. Call 956-726-4224.
Hey, and this is a nice place.
Have you talked to Mr. Castillo about using that ballroom for a town meeting or anything like that?
No, I have not.
I thought you said you
No, I had mentioned it to him that we would like to use his beautiful ballroom for our once-a-month town hall meetings.
That's what I said.
No, but he knows about it, but he hasn't. I'm not really worried about that because whether it's him or some other owner of a reception hall, somebody will give me it. I'm not worried about it, whether it's his or somebody else's.
Well, it'd be nice if we could use Mr. Castillo's fine facility.
Why is that?
Well,
he'd be up there marching around. You know how
good.
he's a worry.
Maybe he'll have something to
He's
say.
like a worrywart. You know, he's always
maybe
looking
you'll
around.
have something to say.
I want to know. Well, he does love his city, and he does love to talk about making things better. I don't know if he's political, but he does worry about the current situation that we have in this town.
Well,
on certain issues, I'm sure.
He's a good local businessman who has a public conscience.
Yeah. All right, we'll leave it at that. Well, I'll go. Maybe I'll go talk to him right now.
Sure.
All right. Don't forget to like us on our Facebook page. We are South Texas Radio Network. We are the Laredo Citizens for Good Government. And spread the word, if you will. We go into full speed ahead come December the 1st. And right now we're just doing a 2-hour show, but we'll turn it into a 3-hour show. And we'll have all kinds of stuff like what we talked about earlier. All different programming. If you have a program that you would like to put together and you would like to audition for a program, you have a great idea and you want to reach out to the community. Like I said, this is a watchdog organization. That means this is your organization as well as it is mine.
The door is open.
The door is open.
It's up to you to walk through it.
We have 24/7 worth of programming. We got a lot of time on our hands, don't we?
Yes, we do.
So we'd like to share that with you. You guys have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
We'll see you on Monday. And by the way, classic hits all day and all weekend.